George W. Bush thought he could be president. He also thought he could be governor. Before that, he thought he could be a businessman. In America, you can be anything you want to be. George W. Bush was surrounded by family and friends, willing and able to bail him out of trouble if and when predictions of his professors who assigned C and D grades came true. They did. C and D work only passes in school. It is unacceptable in the professional world. When his business adventures failed because he attended them to the same standards of time, interest, dedication, and application of education and skills he applied to classes, somebody rescued him, and he went on to something else. That carried on into politics and provided us with one of the most important barometers to success: grades. George W. Bush lived right down to the predictions of people to whom we should have listened. Who over these years did we hear repeatedly bash higher education? Mush-minded students in the liberal colleges sure didn't come from liberals and Democrats. Then came demands by conservatives for Obama's grades. He sealed them and drew a firestorm of criticism and revealed a delicious exposure of ignorance. Who paid attention to those three little words, summa cum laude? They didn't even know what they meant, didn't ask, and didn't bother to learn. Three little words that meant we didn't need to see his grades. They were all the same. Boring. A. Another prediction. We barely got to see the talents President Obama brought to the table from his training and experience. He was fought every step of the way, including his nominees, to the extent posts like Surgeon General went unfilled because nobody he would appoint would be approved. He was opposed and obstructed in every possible, conceivable way by the GOP for no reason other than he was Obama. Foreign word. Foreign man, with a Hussein in the middle to remind some of others bearing that name too. Shallow people don't dig deep in anything. Judge books by their covers, judge men by theirs. And Obama's African-skinned cover was something many could not get past. A churchwoman expressed it better than anyone. Quote, "That nigger in the White House is ruining America." Words out of the mouths of babes that effectively summarize a reason for hatred others are too cowardly to say aloud, or who realize the social and political incorrectness of it, and that enough of society will no longer tolerate that attitude if they express it. They have no hope to advance their agenda or beliefs. I sense a real turning point in this election. GOP wins depend on help from friends. Can't come through the fair and square democratic process. They have to gerrymander or electioneer to make it difficult for constituents unlikely to vote for them to vote at all. Force less fortunate people to jump hoops and go out of their way, well above and beyond demands and expectations put on people likely to vote GOP because of demographic, socioeconomic status, to exercise their right to vote. In other states, they depend on the new unrestricted support made possible through Citizens United to so overwhelm voters with mostly anti-Obama ads, playing on some weak-mindedness and ability of the less fortunate and independents to be persuaded to vote GOP. The GOP are dependent on general constituent forgetfulness. Risky. This election will either prove a sufficient population are too forgetful and stupid to be able to resist political manipulation and vote against their own interests, or the GOP will take a shellacking as voters with memory remember which side is behind all these efforts and deny the GOP.